Welcome to another episode of the Family Futures podcast series, Real Life Stories. In this episode, I chat to adopted young person, Sam, who's recently transitioned from main school to homeschooling. He talks about the support he's received and his experiences along the way. We're also joined by his mum, who shares a positive message about adoption and offers some advice for anyone thinking about adoption and professionals working in adoption. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Do you want to start by just sort of introducing yourself, saying your name and your age and...
I can do that. So my name is Sam. I am 15 and not 15, sorry, 16. And in the past I've had links with Family Futures. That's kind of my overall background.
Yeah, and that's why, obviously we're chatting today.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I know that you were asked whether you'd like to be on the podcast, but was there something in particular that made you say that you wanted to do it?
I'm happy to talk, really. So, in a way, I'm introverted, so I'm not really like to talk to people, but at the same time, the people that I do talk to, I guess I talk to as well. So
so quite chatty with the right people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that was what I was trying to say.
Yeah. And we've done quite a few of these podcasts now with young people like yourself who've been to Family Futures or who are still going to Family Futures, and they all have obviously shared things about their experience about being adopted, but they've also got quite a few different things about their experiences. And I guess the people listening to this podcast are most likely professionals working in adoption or people who are thinking about adopting or other adopted young people. So is there anything you feel that is maybe kind of not understood about the adoption experience, or anything you would want to say to people who don't quite get it or don't understand or have not met an adoptive person before?
I think especially for for adults, if they want to adopt a child, I think that as many courses as you might do on adopting, I think that it's actually different to once you have a child. I think it's quite a big step, even though you've kind of prepared for it. I think it's still quite difficult. I think. I don't personally have any way of telling you how it'd be easier, because I'm obviously not at that age yet. But for something like that, I'd have to obviously ask my mum or dad that type of question.
Do you remember being adopted? Do you remember how old were you?
So it would have been 13 years ago. I was 3 years old. I don't really remember it that well, no, because, obviously
you were 3.
Yeah, when you're that young, you don't really remember much, really. So, I only remember it from pictures, but later on.
Oh, okay. And I know you've come to Family Futures for quite a bit of time now. Do you remember, first coming to Family Futures, how that felt, or I don't know how old you were when you came to Family Futures?
It would have been 2016 or something like that.
Okay.
I was 7 at the time, so
still young.
I was still quite young by the time I went there. I was there for about five or so years, so we went every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you remember what kind of stuff you did, or what it was like, or?
It was mainly, obviously, I think a lot of things that young people, especially when they're that young, struggle with, is to be able to understand why they feel that way. Why they feel the way that they feel, and be able to understand that, and being able to be able to like control it. I think that's a main reason why a lot of young people go there. I think
Mm,
it was the same. It was the same for me. I think it would be the same for a lot of young people.
yeah. Do you remember like enjoying it or like looking forward to sessions, or did you think, oh no, like we're going back here again?
Um, if I'm totally honest, um I enjoyed it because obviously it was on weekdays, so I like got out of school from it. So I mean
Amazing.
that aspect I would say yes, but I just saw it as a more positive thing. Like I'm getting out of school because I'm a home educated now, but when I was at school, I never really enjoyed school that much. I never seemed to
Okay.
really properly get on with school, so any way I could find out was kind of like, yeah, I kind of
Yeah,
liked it really. So
fair enough. How do you find, obviously, so you're saying you're home educated now,
yeah.
and how do you find that?
Well, I've been doing that for about a year now. I'm finding
Oh,
it,
so new.
yeah, it's been a lot. I've found it a lot better because I've been able to learn things that I want to learn and being able to like grow more of my like social skills and stuff like that because as I said, I'm very introverted.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff did you like, are you learning that you're enjoying?
Um, Socializing with people. Obviously, I'm at an age now where I'm going out and I'm like going out to the shops on my own or something like that.
Mm,
And being able to communicate with people when I'm out on my own. That's kind of
yeah,
something that over the year we've tried to implement. So I learn to socialize with people if I need to.
yeah. So is that, so you kind of learning how to implement that? Like, what does that look like? Do you go out with like your mum or dad and then, or do you go out and then see how it
No, I
goes?
go.
Or like
No,
set yourself like a challenge or something?
no. There's shops kind of like are near us. Just now and again, I like go out on a walk on my own, and I
Mm,
use that as like a time to like you learn for social
yeah.
situations.
Do you find like it gets easier each time?
I've been
Or do
doing
you
it
always feel
for
the same?
I would definitely say I'd say I was definitely more shy when I first started, but as time's
Yeah,
gone on, I think it's got a lot better. I think the thing is that with school, you've seen the same people over and over again. There's nothing new. You're not
yeah,
meeting new people. I think that was the main thing that was kind of keeping me back, I think.
yeah. And are you doing anything else that's like as part of your home education, like any other subjects or anything else?
I think at the moment my main aspect is growing on my social life and my social side
Hmm.
because a lot of my school years was spent on paperwork, on like your normal like maths, English, science, and all the rest kind of
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah.
it was, but my social was kind of left behind a bit. So we've
Yeah,
kind of been trying to get it back to a decent level.
yeah. So, like, talking about the social kind of aspect of it, like, do you know anyone else who's adopted? Like, have you spoken to or met or spoken to like another young person who's adopted and talked about like,
I haven't talked to or have friends that are adopted, but I have friends that have similar like issues, not like adopted, but like different like conditions that I
okay,
have, basically.
okay, and so you like chat to them about that, and then you can be like, oh, but for me, it's like this, and like talk about their experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a link that kind of, you know, kind of connects really.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's just funny because when you're obviously I work in adoption, my dad's actually adoptive. But as soon as you start chatting to someone and that you kind of mention, like, my dad will say, oh yeah, no, I'm adopted, and then someone else goes, oh yeah, no, I actually know, or like my friend or whatever, and it's like not this kind of singular thing. It's like, everyone knows someone or is, or, and it's like really, really common. So I was just kind of interested to know.
I think it's more, I think that, I mean, from my point of view, I think people say that it's common, but I don't necessarily believe that it's as common as people say it is, because obviously I've never had the experience of knowing somebody that is adopted.
Yeah, that's very true.
I guess that's down to my own personal experience, really.
I mean, that makes sense. So you're not coming into Family Futures anymore, but like you're back on kind of doing sessions, right?
Well, at the moment, I've not gone to Family Futures since before COVID, so that's about 5 years. 5 years now.
Yeah.
I've had sessions from about the summer to I'm gonna have them to about like November time this year. And then I'll see if I need any more then. I kind of have them as like support, because at the moment I'm going through a weird stage, obviously, because I'm a teenager, and obviously just my own personal life and just stuff like that, really. So it's just like a little update at every couple of weeks or so, really. But it's nothing. I wouldn't say it's anything major, no.
Yeah, but it's like helpful, I'd imagine.
It's
I would hope.
Yeah, it's helpful. Yeah.
Well, it's been great chatting with you, Sam. Thank you so much. So if you've got nothing to add, then I'm really happy to leave it there, if that's okay.
I don't have anything to ask, so I don't know if my mum has anything to ask if she wants to.
Yeah, if she wants to come in.
Except from that, I don't really have anything. So.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You did really well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want me to add anything, or?
I guess, like I kind of said to Sam at the beginning, I don't know how much you heard. It's just the people listening to this podcast, I would imagine, are generally people who are thinking about adoption.
Yeah.
So is there anything? I mean, Sam had a great response to that, but is there anything that you would tell, I don't know, like your younger self, or advice you would want to give to people who are thinking about adoption, or professionals who work in adoption?
I would probably say, I think Sam did respond really brilliantly to that, actually, because before we adopted Sam, we read loads and loads of books. We went on all sorts of courses, and nothing actually prepares you for but it's wonderful, and I definitely recommend adoption. It's changed our lives for the better, so that is wonderful. It's not easy sometimes, but there's so many rewards and so much love and positivity. I think I would say to any sort of professionals that I think it's really sort of important that they listen to the parents, because at the end of the day they know that little person better than anybody, really. And just, for people just to not be afraid to voice their opinions, what they need. Because I think sometimes, you can feel a bit sort of overwhelmed, or you can feel that, what do we do if something, you have a particular situation happen. That could be anything. Have confidence in yourself and believe in yourself, and fight for what you need, which is a really sad thing to say, but it is true. You do have to raise your voice, not as in shout, obviously, but stand up and say what you need. I would say absolutely.
Yeah. Amazing.
And that's what we've always done. And Sam is a credit. He's absolutely an amazing young man. Had a tough start, absolutely, but he's just a great 16-year-old. Aren't you?
Yeah, I can attest to that. Oh, thank you so much. That was a really nice, positive message.
It is, because it is positive and it's good, and more people should, look at that option of adoption, because it is can make a big difference in. And I would also say as well, in older children as well, not. Rather, because a lot of people, want very young children, but I think there's a group, isn't there, in the middle that sometimes get missed, and I think that's really sad, because I think.
What ages are you talking?
Probably sort of, 7 above. I think that's a sort of an age group that perhaps.
Well, they're still children, but
they are.
To what? But they almost like.
Well, sometimes they, people think, they want a younger child, but I think it's important across the board.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Family Futures podcast, why not subscribe or leave us a review? Want to know more about Family Futures? Visit our website www.familyfutures.co.uk. Thanks for listening.